Welcome to the first episode of Talking Taste um, with my man TJ Bannister. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you.
When you hear Talking Taste, what comes to mind?
Feel like talk. It's a little bit deeper than just only talking and tasting a certain food or something like that, or tasting like talking taste could be like giving your taste on a certain subject.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you talking about that certain subject. So, I think it's pretty cool because most people are here talking taste and be like, oh, he's probably talking about something to drink or something to eat, but it goes deeper than that with, like I said, your view on different things and you talking and giving you a certain taste on how you feel about that thing.
Right. So, my thing with coming up with the name Talking Taste, I wanted to cover a range of things. I ain't just want to cover sport. I want to be able to cover business, family, and fun, cool stuff like you're tasting fashion, you're tasting cars, tasting food. So my first question for you would be, what's your taste in fashion? What's your taste in food? Give me some stuff about TJ.
All right. Well, when it comes to fashion, I feel like my dress code different from everybody else's.
Okay.
Like, I feel like most people, they're going to go get something from Gucci, Louis, YSL, or something like that, and that's fashion for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, fashion is being able to go to Zara, getting a T-shirt that's like $25,
Mm-hmm.
getting some crazy pants to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go, my shoes gonna be crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go spend some bread on some shoes, but then my total fit probably only gonna be maybe like $400 or $500 because of the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But the outfit itself, like just with the shorts, the shirt, or the jeans, is gonna come from Zara. I'm a Zara down. I'm a Zara everything down.
So your thing is your shoe game gonna be on point.
110%.
So when it comes to your style, you gonna make sure sometimes people make sure their hat is that thing or they shirt that thing. Yours is the shoes.
Shoes, bro.
Okay.
You could throw on a white tee, some blue jeans, and you can go have some exclusive dunks that probably cost about $300 or $400.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like, dang, bro, that fit cool. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then it's the accessories. Then I go throw me on a little necklace, throw me on a little watch, and now I'm doing something.
Sure. So you take pride in putting it together.
110.
Some dope kicks, and I'm gonna put everything else together.
Yep.
And I could get it from
Zara, even Urban Outfitters.
Man.
Go to Urban Outfitters. They gonna wonder what it is, because when you think about it, most of those expensive designers, I feel like they getting their style from Zara and Urban Outfitters.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, yeah. Or vice versa. Like look at you got Kanye West oversized hoodies and shirts.
Mm-hmm.
You can go, instead of paying whatever Hoppin' versus shirts is, like $2, whatever, you can go right in the Zara and get that same shirt.
Sure. Yeah, but that's how it go.
Yeah.
It's the same way with cars too.
Yeah.
You notice that, the Bentley truck, they got all kind of Bentley trucks out. They got the Toyota Bentley truck. They got the,
Right.
So yeah, it's the same thing with fashion. What about your taste in food? Like what's your go-to meal these days? Like what's your thing?
I'm gonna say arroz con pollo. That's chicken and rice.
Huh.
My mom and my grandma them, they used to make chicken and rice, but then I married my wife who is Latino.
Exactly.
And she's Spanish, so I'm like, hers is called arroz con pollo, and I'm like, all right, well, it's the same thing I ate growing up. So that's my go-to meal.
Okay. All right. What about cars? What's your thing in cars?
Cars. I mean, right now I got 2 BMWs, but I don't know. I kind of just go with. For me, I'll dress up my car.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, it's all about, you could be in a Challenger, and then you go hook it up. Everybody eyes gonna be turning. or you could be in a Nissan and, you know, just dress it up. But for me, I mean, I think probably my favorite car all time would probably be a Porsche Panamera. That's what I always wanted growing up. And then now with kids, I can't fit all of them in a Porsche Panamera. So I got to get what fits my family now.
Sure. Family first, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So you know, we both hoop, so we got to talk basketball.
Right.
And you know, you're a trainer today, but I want to start from the beginning. Where you get your passion for basketball from?
Well, from my pops. You know, he put the basketball in my hand. He was working at Grant Street Community Center. And, you know, I was always around basketball, watching him and the old heads playing. And then, you know, he started, you know, put me in there with games that they were having, like we playing 3-on-3 games, 4-on-4 games. And, you know, then I started falling in love with it more and more, you know. And then after I started seeing, I'm like, man, I'm kind of good at this. And I started taking it even more serious. So it was like he taught it to me, but then I was like, Dad, yo, let's go to the gym. Let's go get some work. And now I make him stay in the gym for overtime. You feel me? So, and then my IQ started growing because I was playing with older men. You know, when, right here. Need to pull it back. Oh, come up. Right there. Yeah. So, yeah, my IQ has started growing because I was playing with, you know, older men, and, you know, they teach me like, yo, don't do that play, or, you know, don't take that shot. And then so I started playing with kids my age, and now I'm teaching them the game, you know? And so, yeah, man, one thing led to another, and then I started watching my favorite point guards like Jason Kidd and Steve Nash playing. And then I was like, man, I really got a chance to be like one of them, so I started idolizing their game. And then, you know, like I say, once I got the hang of it and understood how the game was played, man, I just took off from there.
Okay. What about so I hear you talk about how, you know, your dad, you know, he kind of gave you the game and or introduced you to the game, which that you grew up playing and you develop a passion for, right? And you know, through your journey, you through playing against older people, you became a leader, or you became just a high IQ player. What would you say? Where you get your leadership skills from, or where you get your IQ from? You would say playing with older guys, or your dad, or?
Yeah, I would for sure say playing with older guys. And also, my dad was a coach. My dad played, he was a coach. But then, you know, playing with the older guys, like they weren't letting me do too much, you know, knucklehead stuff, you feel me? So it was just like, you know, I had some accountability in my life. And I feel like, you know, having the right accountability around you growing up sets you up for the rest of your life to be successful. And I feel like, for real, that's what's missing with a lot of kids in basketball right now. With just, the game is just missing those older guys that, you know, that can pour into you and tell you that you're doing the wrong thing. Versus, you know, you got kids they're looking up to guys that are in high school with them because they see them on mixtapes. So they want to be like them. Or they not watching enough basketball of like how the game is really played. And, you know, LeBron, I'll talk about LeBron. For me, he's not my favorite player, my GOAT. But when it comes to understanding the game, and he makes all the right basketball plays. So you have to love him. That's why he's in my top 5. Because he plays the game the right way, you feel me? But when you go about GOAT and somebody that's just like unstoppable, it's Jordan and Kobe, like no comparison. In the heart.
Okay. Were you always a point guard?
No, believe it, I was a shooting guard.
Okay.
Shooting guard at first. So my dad's 6'4", my mom 5'9". And then look at me, I got the only 5'11", 6 foot. So my dad used to have me playing, I used to do post moves. He was like, man, you probably might be like 6'3", 6'4". So once he put that in my head, every night I'm on my knees, God, please let me get the 6'3", 6'4". God, please let me get it. I'm praying every day. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, you know, you're going to hit that growth spurt soon, son. But at this time when he was telling me, I was 4'11" and chubby as heck. My nickname in the hood was Short Fat.
Wow.
short back, but I could shoot the ball, bro. Shoot it. So then he was like, you know what? Do post moves. You're gonna work on your handles. You can already shoot, but we still gonna keep your shot there, like keep shooting. But you got to work on your handles, and he's like, you don't never know how tall you're gonna be. We just hope that you get to 6'3", 6'4". Cool. So I started working on my handles. Handles got really, really nice. Then I remember we were playing at Salt Lake City against this team, 4D Stars, and bro, our point guard, he couldn't get the ball up the court to me. So now he's like, man, TJ, you go play the 1. So now I'm at the 1, and then we ended up winning the game, and that's when I started playing point guard.
That's cool. So it sounds like your dad gave you that pedigree, man, of being a leader, having a high IQ, being a point guard. Because usually when you play for your dad's team, you shoot all the balls.
All of them.
So that's probably why you was a shooting guard.
Right.
But you transitioned to the point because somebody couldn't handle it, and I feel like that was your true position anyway.
For sure.
Yeah. So tell me about your AAU days coming up playing basketball.
So my dad was my coach. Played for the YCA Melbourne Bulls, Young Christians in Action, Melbourne Bulls. So he created a team basically for me. He was like, man, you know what? I'm going to take you to travel. We're going to go play everywhere all over the world so we can see how good people are out there. And then, like I said, man, once we put our team together, it was everybody from little old Melbourne, where it was like, we going playing in, like I say, Salt Lake City, Memphis, Tennessee. This is the first time, like, kids out of the hood being able to travel. Because, at first all we had was Police Athletic League, PAL, and, you weren't really traveling with that. So he was the first person to bring AAU into Melbourne. And so, man, we traveling and meeting different players, playing against different guys, and he's like, son, you right there. We just going to come back and work on your skills a little bit better. Work on this and that and the third or whatever. And, man, once Rex Morgan and Artis Gilmore, they saw me playing in a tournament. This was in Jacksonville. And they was like, man, we need to get your son up here with us. And this when I was in, 7th grade. And, yeah, man, he moved me to Jacksonville, and the rest was history.
So you didn't play for your dad no more since then?
Nope. I played with him from, 4th grade. It was YBOA. Then we had AAU 5th, 6th, and then 7th grade. That was it.
You want to shout your pops out for the early days of for giving you the game?
Yes, man. I tell him that all the time. Coach Tony Bannister, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I appreciate you for, giving me the game, being hard on me. There was a lot of nights where I didn't like you, a lot of days where I didn't like you. I remember us working out at the park at the rec one night, and he got mad at me because I came last in the sprint. And, parents can't really do this nowadays, but he came and grabbed me up by my shirt, and I was like, man, get off me, and ran all the way to my grandma's house, bro. Then the next day I was right back in practice. So I give him a lot of credit, bro, because he made things so much a lot easier for me. It was tough, but it was a lot easier once I got older, and I appreciated it. Appreciated it a lot because the man that I really wanted to make proud used to be tough as heck on me. But then I'm like, I had a coach that I'm like, bro, you don't really want to see me. I mean, he might want to see me successful, but my success for him is so he don't lose his job. My dad's success was, man, I just want to see my son better than me. So I was like, cool, I can accept that. When the coach get mad at him, I'm like, it don't matter. I'm gonna take your criticism because it's just gonna turn me into a better player. Like, I'm taking your criticism as you're scared to lose your job and you just want me to play better.
So that's hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Because you probably didn't appreciate your dad when you was coming up.
Nah, hell no.
And I think we need to stay right there for a little bit because I feel like there's a lot of parents, there's a lot of moms and dads, but particularly dads that are like dedicated to seeing their kids be the best they can be in sports, right? They there with you every step of the way. They pushing you, and sometimes, every day of pushing, the relationship can kind of like take a hit because it's a lot less like, you know, hugs and kisses. It's like, come on, man, go harder. You know, you can be better. I think that's important because I'm kind of like experiencing that right now, and I try to explain that to Junior, like what you said. I try to explain to him like, there's nobody else in the world that wants you to be better than them.
Nobody.
I'm the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I know your dad felt the same way for you.
Yep.
Like he actually felt like, you know, he wanted you to be better than him.
Right.
But like if you knew that as a kid, you would love on your dad that much
Love
more.
on him, bro.
So that's why I think it's cool to shout him out and to, you know, let him know you appreciate him.
All right.
Because hopefully, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because hopefully some kids, you know, they see this and, you know, they appreciate their mom and dad for, you know, the car rides, you know, the paying trainers, and just being dedicated. Because, you know, when you striving to be the best player you can be, and you getting your kid to be the best player they can be, that's a grind, bro.
It is, bro.
You know, but yeah, man, that's something I feel like, you know, a lot of kids should know. Were you about to say something?
No, I was going to, you know, speak on what you said about the kids just being thankful because, bro, if once you finish high school, if you don't have a scholarship, you don't have no offers, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can go to post-grad. I mean, I'm not knocking post-grads, but it's tough to make it out of post-grad. You know what I'm saying? So kids, accept your parents when they trying to, you know, they pushing you and trying to better you, bro, because they see the potential in you that probably no one else will see. They're with you every single day. And just be different from everybody else. Everybody want to be cool for Instagram. Everybody want to have mixtapes. You know, everybody want to be that guy. That's because, you know, it's just the day and age that we live in. We didn't have that growing up. So as soon as I open up Instagram, I see a highlight of somebody dunking the ball.
Yep.
So then kids want to go they want to go do that. If you just focus on not doing that and just being in the gym every single day, the work gonna always show.
Definitely gonna show.
It's always gonna show.
Always. And speaking of like not having Instagram, on Instagram a bunch of rankings came out a couple days ago. Where were you ranked when you was coming up?
I was number 1 in the state of Florida from 8th grade on up to my junior year of high school. I was ranked number 1 in the state of Florida. And then my senior year, they ended up putting this guy, Kenny Atkins. He's this big African guy that came over like 6'11".
Potential, huh?
Potential. Off potential. I went to watch him play, and I went and told the dudes at breakdown, Kenny Gillian, they remember this. Kenny, I went up to Kenny, and I said, Kenny, I can't believe you tried me like this, bro. I went up to him and told him that. Man couldn't make layups, bro. Losing the ball. He's like, T, but he's 6'11". I said, okay, cool. So then I made sure that every time they saw me, I was trying to give whatever guard I went against, I was trying to give him 40, just because they disrespected me like that.
Okay.
But and then national, I was ranked top 25 in the country. So.
When did you first get ranked? When your first?
In the nation?
Yep. First.
Man, like ninth grade, bro. I was going to I went to the Nike Jamboree out in St. Louis, and then I was at Nike All-American Camp every year. High school got sponsored by Nike because of me and my backcourt mate, DeJuan Yeomans. Man, we was getting Jeff Rogers, one of my best hookups I ever had with Nike. He was sending me gear up until probably like 4 years ago. Send me gear. I had every new shoe that came out when Jordans came out. I had them and was playing in them before they came, like maybe 2 weeks before they came out, bro. So.
From your AU team?
Nah, this is in my high school team.
Your high school team,
High
too?
school, yeah. We were sponsored by Nike in high school. And my high school team was top 25 in the nation.
So y'all had some boys on there that can go.
Bro, we had a stick.
Any other guys was ranked?
Yeah, my shooting guard, DeJuan Yeomans, he was like top 50. Barry Jordan was a top 100 player. Artis Gilmore from the Celtics. His son played with me in high school. Rex Morgan from the Celtics. That was my high school coach. His son played on my team. Shooter, Jermaine Martin, Mike Lee. But we had a stick, bro. Saul McDonald, and like all of our players on that team from 1 through 8, they all went to D1 universities.
Had a
Big time D1.
Yeah, big time program,
Yeah.
2 high school programs.
Yep.
So you was ranked early as 9th grade,
Mhm.
and then as 11th grader you was top 25.
Yep.
I didn't realize it was a such thing as rankings until maybe 10th, 11th grade.
Wow.
So I wasn't even thinking about rankings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the reason why I say is because like today, you know, the kids are thinking they so much more advanced than I was.
Right.
You know, as far as rankings. You know, playing on the circuit. I ain't play on the circuit until going to my 11th grade year. So, but I'm saying all that to say is like, what you think the importance of, you think it's important to be on the circuit early? What's your take on that as far as kids being on the circuit, kids being ranked and things of that nature?
I think it's terrible to be seen early. I think it's terrible to be ranked early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back then I was like, yeah, I was happy because, you know, the rankings was just coming out. But you look at my senior year, we couldn't travel in high school, right? And I feel like that had a lot to do with it. But I mean, still, I went from I was top 25 going into my senior year, and then I finished like top 40. But then look at a guy like you, wasn't ranked at all, and just come on the scene your junior year, and now boom, McDonald's game. Chris Paul, you look at the rankings, Chris Paul wasn't there in our junior year, wasn't in the top 50 in the rankings. Boom, he in the McDonald's game. Andrew Lavender in the McDonald's game. Brandon Cotton in the McDonald's game. So these guards, like me and Chris never faced each other in high school, except for we went to USA Junior Olympics together. That was the first time. But most of the guards that made the McDonald's game, bro, and like most people in the McDonald's game, they wasn't ranked early with me. So it was like, you know, it's kind of like they seeing you so much, they like, man, you still a good player, but boom, this guy might come and do the same exact thing that you do, but it's just new to the eyes.
Yeah, so you was on the circuit so early where they was able to pick you apart.
Yep.
It's the same thing when it comes to everything. Even if, you know, for kids who go to college and they stay there 4 years,
Right.
you know, they get to see you for 4 years, they get to pick you apart.
Yep.
You know, a young guy come in and be like, you know, he can't make a layup like
Right.
you were saying from high school,
Right.
who was ranked above you. You know, they start, you know, ranking them high or, you know, drafting them high based off their potential. So for me, I feel like, to me, it's all about timing, and it's about like just constantly improving.
Right.
Not just from day one, just being the number one player. Because, you know, if you was the number one player and I was in your class, like, I'm trying to come get you.
For sure.
Like, I might have your picture on my wall, and you're gonna be the reason why I'm in the gym every day, all day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, but either way, even if you're number one, you know, to me, if you're number one, it's a responsibility.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's easy for kids to get complacent when you ranked high.
Yeah.
Like my dad would never allow me to get complacent. Like, bro, you can ask my teammates, bro, from high school. After we finished practice, I would go with my dad's school at Inglewood High School, do another workout. You know what I'm saying? But for most guys, like especially nowadays, bro, like I said, you got Instagram, you got social media. So now they get ranked and they feel themselves a little bit, and then they stop working.
That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Whenever you rank high, whenever you get a scholarship, whenever you leading your team to, you know, in scoring or leading your team to, you know, to championships and things of that nature, you got a responsibility.
For sure.
Each and every day, you know, you step in the gym, you got a responsibility to get better.
Right.
So I want to encourage all the young kids that's coming up to keep that in mind, because that way you are constantly, you know, kids are constantly be improving. You'll never be satisfied. But I want to ask you, like, what was your greatest memory of high school? What was that memory? for you?
Man, I had quite a few, bro. But I would say probably just playing at the going to the Nike All American camps, bro. Like and meeting so many different guys, and then once you meet those guys, then you're actually playing against them in college, and then y'all all following each other, and then you following each other in the pros. Like that was probably playing at Nike All American camp was probably one of the dopest experiences.
So being able to compete and build relationships. Huh?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm a relational guy, bro. Like to this day, me and Marlon Smith. I don't know if you know Marlon Smith. He was in our class.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best point guards I played against. We still keep in contact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say going to Nike camp and just sitting there, and then after y'all play, you got kind of like a little bit of downtime. So then you just talking to guys from New York, talking to hearing their accent.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing how everybody else talk. You got LA guys they got a little bit of proper talk with them,
Mm-hmm.
and using different words, different slang lingo.
Yep.
So it was just cool.
Yeah, that was one of my that was funny to me too, hearing people accent and stuff like that.
Right.
What was your college recruitment process like?
It was cool. My biggest mistake is not going to Florida.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I mean. I waited, and waited, and Florida offered me in ninth grade, and I should have just took it then.
I was gonna ask you that. When did you first get your first scholarship offer? Was it ninth grade?
Ninth grade.
Yeah, this
Ninth
is
grade.
crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Florida was like, TJ, we want you. If you tell us that you're gonna commit to us, we ain't going after nobody else. And I was like, all right, well, I want to wait a little bit. 10th, at end of my ninth grade year, going into 10th, they came and said the same thing, and I didn't take it. And then all I hear is that this guy Ryan Appleby committed there, and then Lee Humphreys committed there, and I was like, dang, And then they ended up winning the championship when they had Tarian Green, Chris Richards, who else was on there? Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah. So that I would have been on that team.
Yeah.
And they were.
And you done ran into me, huh?
Would have ran into you.
Mm-mm.
Yes, bro.
That would have been a sight, huh?
Right.
So you end up going to Virginia.
Yep.
How was that?
I mean, it was cool, but the one thing I did learn is you always go with the school that really, really wants you versus the school that's coming to get you just like, oh, he's still left. You know what I mean? And
Same with the girl, right?
same with the girl. Go hand in hand. Guys want to go after that girl that everybody want this one here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want that one. That, oh, man, look, she got a billion Instagram likes. But here you got a plain Jane over here. Now, she beautiful now.
Crazy about you.
Crazy about me. And I could dress plain Jane up. We could dress up. We can go, baby, let's go get you this outfit. And you look, now you killing them.
Right.
But we ain't looking at her like that. We like, I don't know. And then boom, you got yourself in a poop show over there on the other side while you over there dealing with this model chick.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so at Virginia, they made it. Pete Gillen, I love him to death, but at the beginning he didn't really have any faith in me as a freshman point guard. Keith Jennifer, that was their point guard that they already had, and they came get me because he got in trouble at school and got kicked out of school. So now you're going scrambling like, oh, this guy's still here, so let's bring him in. So and then the way schools work, bro, like Sean Singletary, that was, Sean still had 2 more years of high school. I was the incoming freshman, so they were trying to basically get by with me for that year. And then the next year, Sean Singletary was coming in. That's what they really wanted. You know what I mean? And Keith Jennifer, he would have been basically graduating when Sean was coming in. So, I had to, basically, they ended up starting me, and it was like he was forced to do it because Todd Billett, we were playing at home. John Gilchrist ripped him like 2 times in the backcourt.
Gilchrist?
From
where?
Maryland.
Yeah.
6'4" PG. Ripped him. They won the game. Next game, we go play at Duke. I ain't played all year, not even in preseason game. But I've been killing in practice. So I'm joking around in the layup line. I ain't being serious. You go out there, and then they come back in the locker room. We meeting. Coach Gillen comes up. TJ, you ready to go? I'm like, yeah, Coach, I'm ready. You ain't playing me. What you talking about right now? And then he's like, good, because you starting. I'm like, oh, man. And we at Duke Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Yes, sir.
So now I'm like, man, I feel like he tried to, it was like a setup. Everybody putting pressure on him, like, why haven't you been playing this point guard? So now he's just like, I'm gonna show you why I ain't been playing him. But I kind of like proved everybody wrong. And then I started the rest of the year.
You played well tonight.
Yeah, played well. I think I probably had like only 8 points, but I had like 6 assists, maybe 2 turnovers. My first game ever starting at Cameron, that was tough.
It was.
Yeah.
So, let's have a teaching moment about that. So, you was joking around in the layup line because you didn't think he was gonna play.
Right.
When I was young in the NBA, I remember some of the veterans used to tell me, man, stay ready, stay ready. And, when you're young, you kind of hear it, but you don't hear it. But I think it's important for the young kids to realize, like, you having the career you had, right?
Right.
You played, 12 years overseas? You can't let a situation where you're not playing, dictate your season, dictate how you prepare from day to day, because you never know when your name is called.
Right.
And what if your name called and you don't perform? In college, it'll cost you your spot.
Right.
And the NBA can cost you millions of dollars. So for kids, or for even adults, or, kids in college, young men that's in the league, I feel like you got to always be ready. Yeah. No matter if you think the coach messing over you. Yeah. Because you usually play games with yourself.
Right.
Because, look, even when the coach called your name, you thought he was playing games with you then.
Right.
So it's like, if I be prepared, I'm kind of, my life and my career is in my hands. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What would you want to share with the kids about that?
Just make sure you had the right attitude about being prepared too. About being ready when the coach call you. Because sometimes you could be sitting there and so mad that you ain't playing and that you ain't been playing, that when he finally call your name, your brain's still back here thinking about how he ain't been playing you. So now when you get into the game, you're like, man, now he want to put me in. You ain't playing good. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having a good attitude. And I done seen that happen a lot. I was that guy. It didn't happen to me at Duke, but it happened to me as a pro. So I'm like, the point guard that's out there, I'm way better than. But now, coach, you called me because he done had 3 turnovers. And I should have been playing. I get out there and do the same thing he doing. So now what he going to do? Just put him right back in.
What's amazing, though? Like on your journey, the things you go through, right? It be preparing you to better have an impact on kids, right? Or people in general. Like, I hated some of the stuff I had to go through, but it makes me it makes me sharper as a dad, or, as a friend, or, as somebody who can, help somebody.
Right.
It makes me sharper from what I went through. But it's one of them things, man. If you know better, you do better.
Yep.
So, that's one thing we're gonna try to do here is, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna lay back and I think smoothly or coolly, if that's a word, we're gonna, try to, impact others.
Right.
Did you have a dream of playing the NBA?
Of course.
Or playing pro? Well,
of course. Like that was my ultimate dream.
Okay.
I'm like, even now, I tell you, I think I done told you this before, but I was like, even now, I still feel like I should have made it, bro. Like, even with everything that happened with my high school, college.
Everybody feel like this.
Brother, it's crazy. Everybody feel like that. Here I go, I finished. Yeah. But I transferred from Virginia, finished number 2 in the nation in assists my senior year, had a ton of NBA workouts, and then I give it to Pacers. And I'm like, my agent, Chris Warren at the time, he was like, TJ, this it, boy, they love you. I was like, cool. Called my pops, I'm excited. They kept me in Indiana for another 3 weeks. But in the meantime, now this is a lesson to be learned for kids too. In the meantime, I was heavy in the word. being super religious, taking, reading my Bible every day, praying every day, standing my word. When I stayed out there, I got complacent and was like, all right, cool, this it. Stop reading my Bible. Here I go hanging out. Meet a little chick there hanging out, doing crazy stuff, and then guess what? My agent come back to me was like, hey man, they want to send you to the D League, so we'll just get ready for that and you can go ahead and go home. And I felt like at that time, as soon as he came and told me that, the first thought that came to my mind was like, TJ, you ain't been in your word and you've been tripping. That was the first thought that came to my mind because God was ready to bless me. I just wasn't ready for it, Mm-hmm. And if I would have received that blessing, it probably would have, it could have got worse. Ain't no telling what would have happened, So I felt like he didn't give me that because I wasn't ready for it, and I didn't know how to receive it at that time.
Well, when you want something so bad, your mind plays tricks on you, huh?
Tricks on me.
Yeah.
Tricks on me.
I'm saying even if that wasn't the case, because that possibly wasn't the case, but your mind would be thinking like that.
Yes, bro.
But yeah, you definitely got to stay focused and do what got you there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever gets you there, whatever your thing is, you got to stick to that. So you end up not making it with the Pacers, but you end up going overseas.
Yeah, I just went overseas after that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How was that experience?
Man, great, bro. It was great. Of course, like I say, everybody want to make it to the NBA, but once I went to Germany my first year, second year, went to Slovakia. The summer of my second year, I went to China, and once I started, going to these different cities and realizing, bro, you can still make some good money overseas, and I'm able to go to Paris for Christmas only for like $150 round trip ticket. Mm-hmm. I'm spending so much time over there. I'm like, man, this here cool, because I'm like, y'all can't do this in the NBA. Y'all can't go over to Paris. Y'all got to play, or y'all got to practice, or you're not going to be wanting to take that 9-hour flight to go over there for Christmas, So I'm over there, I started taking advantage of all the different places I can go, Vienna, Austria, and it was just cool, bro. It was cool to be able to travel and see the world at a cheaper price.
So you basically just learned to be grateful.
Be grateful.
Learned to be grateful for, where you was at in life.
Yeah.
Because, to me that's key, right? Because everybody don't make it to the NBA.
Right.
Some people make it over. Some people, have a long, amazing career overseas. Mm-hmm. Some people, their career stops in college. Some people career stops in high school. So it's one of those things where I feel like you figured out, like, I'm gonna be grateful for where I'm at.
Yeah.
I got some perks in being, being an overseas player. But like, it's a lot of players that I laughed about you, saying you could have made it to the NBA, but man, it's a lot of guys could have played in the league that didn't play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a situational thing. It's a lot of guys in the league right now that, supposed to be overseas.
Yeah.
Or can't even make a living overseas. It's a lot of different scenarios. So whatever scenario you in, it's like, I feel like you got to be grateful and try to make the best of it. Mm-hmm. So while you was playing, right? Did you know when you was done you gonna be a trainer?
Not really, bro. Not really until maybe like the last 5 to 6 years of my career. Mm-hmm. I was in the gym working out, and I had a parent come up to me and ask me to train their son, and I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want to do that, And then, he came to me again, and his name, the kid's dad is, Julius Freeman, Aaron Freeman's dad. And I was like, all right, come on, let's work a little bit. So I started working with him, and then I realized there was a lot of stuff that kids needed to be taught. And I watched a lot of basketball that, kids don't even know the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, maybe that I can do that. Let me go give them that part of their game, the fundamentals. Because once you get that down, then your game will take off. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, probably like the last 5 to 6 years of me playing, I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to do that. So every summer after my season, I would come back, train a few kids here, and go back overseas and
keep hooping.
Yeah, keep hooping.
But you are Mr. Cerebral today.
110%.
Where that name come from? You got a dope logo. Where did that come from? And what's your plan with training?
All right, so the name Mr. Cerebral came from me playing at Nike All-American camp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember Luke Ridnour, point guard from Oregon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we were, I was playing and made a few nice passes, and that other team called a timeout. He was like, "Man, you really cerebral, you know that?" I was like, "Appreciate it, thank you." Then we sat down and they talked to us, whatever. Then we were getting up out of the timeout. He was like, "Do you know what cerebral mean?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "I can just tell, like, you think in the game, like some of the passes that you're making is like it's coming before it's even happening." And I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." So I'm in the Indy EB. He was on my Nike All-American team, and we were playing over in China one day, and he was like, "Cerebral," and I was like, "Bro, how the heck you remember that, bro?"
Damn.
Yeah, playing against him in China. He was like, "Man, I still remember when Luke said that," and I was like, "That's dope." So it stuck with me from high school, and Indy basically reminded me of it when I was a pro, and yeah, that's how that name came about. And then with my logo, Cerebral, I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I want to start this up. What's a dope logo, or something that would signify how much I love the game, and like you thinking the game and all this stuff, right? So me and my wife Timberly, we were sitting there and was like, she's like, "Boo, what if you do a Heart with Basketball?" I was like, "You know what? That's dope, because Loving Basketball is my favorite movie." So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's brainstorm a little bit. Let's put some stuff together. And believe it or not, she did the logo.
Okay.
She did the logo, bro.
So
like,
she know what she's doing.
yeah. So at first the brain wasn't like this. It was just kind of like just a little squiggly line here with just the brain, and the basketball was on this side. And I'm like, yo, let's do it like this. I sent it to this guy, Russell, and he brought this to life, bro. And yeah, that's how I got the logo.
You want to shout out Timberly? What, man?
Yeah, shout out my old lady. People
Shout
from
out
Florida.
my old lady.
Hey, people from Florida, we say our old lady.
Bad. What you want your training legacy to be, and what you want your legacy to be, as a person?
So for my training legacy, I just wanted to be that I taught kids how to play the game the right way. That's what's most important to me. I give them a lot of skill work. We do a lot of drill work, to make sure your handles and your skills are just nice and you understand the basics. But overall, I tell them, like, when we're doing all these dribbling moves, right? I tell them, you're never going to dribble this much in the game. I make sure I reiterate that so they understand. I'm like, you might get a maximum of two to three dribbles off the ball screen. And then you got to make a decision. You got to read if the guy's helping, kick it. And just teach them that, because they'll go and do training and be like, oh, I gotta go do all these dribble moves, and that don't make sense, So my legacy is I want them to understand that I taught them how to play basketball the right way, and I taught them the fundamentals, and I made the game easy for them, and I made them a lot smarter when they played. And then, my legacy as a person, I just want to continue to always be that person that's, helping people. I do that day in and day out. Not really have to brag about it, but, I host this thing with the community. It's called, with a nonprofit called E3 Life. And, it's basically EAT stands for everybody assert themselves and effort always triumphs. And then the 3 stands for, your 3 main focuses in life, whether it's God, family, basketball, God, family, football, whatever your 3 main focuses in life are. And that's how you get the E3 Life. So I want to always be that guy that's helping people and giving back to the community, because it can make the world a better place, brother.
Okay. Fans raised you right, huh?
They did, bro. They did. Shout out my mama, too.
All right.
Louise.
Okay. So, when we have a conversation, sometimes I always tell you, like, I tell you what I think your strengths are as a trainer, because you think every trainer terrible.
I do, bro. Not every trainer, but it's some trainers where I just be like, I'll watch their videos and I'm like, he doing the wrong footwork. He's letting the kid dribble with his head down. Or he's teaching him a move that he's not going to use in the game. Like, so I see that so much. Like, or you picking up a heavy ball and doing this, like, what are we doing right now?
And I always tell you, like, because I'll be looking at it from the outside looking in. I tell you, everybody got their strengths and weaknesses.
For sure.
And to me, like I told you this too, like, you know, all young kids, like, you should be at least their first trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you the best at footwork and handles. Because a lot of trainers don't really focus on they don't have a good foundation of footwork and handles, right? They may be good at, you know, certain elite moves and ball handling, but I feel like handles and the fundamentals of footwork, they need to come see you first.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, they need to come see you, man. So just to have some fun, who your top 5 favorite guards
Top 5.
of all time?
Ooh. Jason Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Nash.
Okay.
I'm going to throw Chris in there. Even though we're the same age, I got to throw him in there, bro.
Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson.
All right.
And then, I can't throw AI in there because he wasn't a point guard, but I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas. Old school Isaiah Thomas.
Old school Isaiah Thomas. You gonna throw him in there
Got to.
as a point guard?
Yeah.
I ain't see enough of Isaiah. I just seen highlights of him. But you said J Kidd first.
Mm-hmm.
I played with J Kidd. Really cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Nash. I watched him. Played against him. To me, Steve Nash is like, for point guards, he should be on like the cover of some type of basketball book about, you know, teaching you about of what a point guard should look like, you know, as far as like, you know, the perfect J, being able to pass, creative with the pass. I feel like he was one of the first guards who manipulated the pick and roll. Like,
Yes.
I mean, I watched Chris, turn the pick and pop thing into something special in the league. When we played together, him and David West, they did something special with the pick and pop thing. Magic, I seen highlights of Magic, but being 6'9", I mean, none of them people that you name, I don't think they could guard Magic. So you might have to put Magic in the front of those guards.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah, he wasn't really a great shooter, but his passing and IQ for the game is crazy.
So who would you put one? If you had to rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's the best?
I'm gonna go with Steve, bro. Steve and then J Kidd. J Kidd jump shot developed a lot better, you know, towards the end of his career. So
You think Steve could guard Magic? Now I'm gonna put Steve on the cover of the magazine.
No, you know what? Check this out. Can Magic guard Steve? I think it's easier for Steve to guard Magic than it is for him to guard him, than Magic to guard Steve. We talked about him manipulating the ball screen. Think about Magic trying to go for the top.
Okay, so check this out. Nash wasn't crazy fast, all quick.
But his pace for the game.
His pace was crazy.
He got wherever he wanted. But as a 6'9" point that can move from doing, I'm kind of gonna do what I want to do with you, cause I might think about it like, let's say we blew him, bro. I'm keeping you on this side, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like think about how big I'm gonna be. You're gonna be huge now.
But and I'm making you go that way,
right?
Sending you to the defense.
But Steve Nash is gonna go out. You make him go that way.
Yeah.
He gonna have a smart big like Amari or
hold the screen.
I'm gonna just snake it. Gonna snake it. Then what you gonna do when you hit that shot at the elbow?
Yeah. Better have a good defensive big.
Yeah, you got to.
And I think that's important for no matter who you put in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
Because all those guys you named, they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear the debates all the time about who will be number one, And I think that's preference,
Yeah.
you know. And that's kind of how you how you play the game.
Right.
Like, you know, me picking, think about it. I pick Magic. I'm big.
Right.
You pick Nash because of you.
Right.
And you know how you'll manipulate the pick and roll.
Right.
You know, and I watch how you manipulate it. I feel like all your kids should be able to pull from your IQ. You know, you should want to give them a piece of that.
For sure.
You know, where they can see the game through your lens. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can't go wrong with neither of those point guards to start your team. You talked about Kobe and Mike earlier. Who's the greatest of all times?
Bro, Jordan, bro.
Okay.
Jordan.
What if my man behind the camera say LeBron? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, Stephon Marbury had an interview. He's like, bro, how you call yourself the GOAT when you can't shoot, brother? Listen, I'm just saying, bro. LeBron is a specimen we've never seen before. And actually, I always tell people, I said, LeBron is an updated version of Magic Johnson. Shoot it just a little bit better, but their game is almost similar. Besides the post-up stuff that Magic used to do. LeBron ain't really throwing no hooks, but he updated Magic Johnson. Jordan.
yeah.
You got Kobe, that's a little bit updated version of Jordan. Now, don't get me wrong, Jordan is the GOAT all time.
Not an updated version.
No, what I said updated. Now listen, it's just a downloaded. You know, you look at it downloaded. His shot downloaded a little bit better. That's what I mean. His three ball
Okay.
was better than Jordan.
Okay.
But overall, no, man. Like Jordan is no comparison.
Okay.
You know, besides Kobe. Kobe
So-
was the closest thing.
But Jordan's the GOAT.
Jordan is the GOAT, bro.
Okay. All right. I agree with that.
And kids never, like, you know, they have this argument. Like they seeing Bron right now playing against people that's like 18, 19 years old. So a lot of those guys that Bron playing against right now have no IQ for the game, you know? And I'm like, you know, they can play, but they don't understand the game at all. So Bron is terrorizing guys that are like, you know, just younger guys that's 19, 20, versus Jordan playing against Charles Oakley and, you know, Larry Johnsons and, you know, all these Patrick Ewing. Man, them guys had IQs and they were physical, you know? So, yeah, it's just no comparison, bro.
I think you shouldn't compare yourself. I think, in my opinion, LeBron and Jordan shouldn't be compared to each other.
At all.
All right. I believe LeBron thinks Jordan the greatest, bro.
I hope he do.
You know, but this what I would say though, right? LeBron is great in his own right, and the league needed Jordan. The league needs LeBron, and for me, I feel like this. I feel like the league needs to get to figure out who's gonna be the next such and such, because the league gonna need that guy.
That face, yeah.
You know, just like they needed Jordan,
Yep.
just like they need LeBron now, because, you know, you can compare LeBron to Jordan right now, and, you know, you'll kind of dismiss him or not give him his flowers, but he should, you know, he should be, you know, talked about as being LeBron,
Right.
because he's one of those guys, and he's the guy in the league that I feel like give most of the fans a reason to watch the game.
Right.
Could you imagine, when you was young, right? Could you imagine the league without Jordan? You know what happened when Jordan retired? For me,
What?
I stopped watching the NBA. So, like, I stopped. Like, you know, in college, I don't remember watching NBA basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, throughout my later years of high school, I wasn't watching NBA. I mean, if I catch it on TV, cool, but for me, when I was young, it was it was all MJ. MJ was the lead to me. Like, you know, even like some of the other Hall of Famers that played during that Jordan era, like, I got to know those guys later.
Right.
Because, you know, I wasn't really paying attention to those. I was just paying attention to MJ and all the Bulls players, you know. So the league should should make sure they always give LeBron his flowers,
And just
man.
they just need to stop comparing them. Just
Don't
let
compare him
yeah.
and enjoy him for why he's here because, you know, the game gonna miss him when he's not there.
Right.
And y'all need to be prepared for the next guy. You know what I mean? The next, you know, face of the league. Because you know, I feel like just for the game of basketball, the face is important.
Let me ask you, who's the next face after LeBron? Who you think?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. But who I, you know, cause man, that face is. I mean, you could kind of know, like you knew it, like you knew when LeBron came in the league, like when he came in, you know, he had this thing about him where you know he was going to be that next thing, right? Same with Kobe. Kobe had this thing about him, you know, after like, you know, his third year in the league, like it was like he had this thing about him that where he was like the face, or one of the big faces of the league. I mean, one of my favorite young guys would be Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see him, like, you know, this year coming up for him to have an incredible year, have one of them incredible years, because he got the type of game to where he can, you know, he kind of looks like a, you know, he put like this. I think he should study Mike, Kobe, you know, even LeBron, like kind of like how Kobe studied MJ.
Yeah.
Because it would give him, because he got a lot of natural things, a lot of natural gifts that could make him the face. But I think you need to study those guys and study them right now, because LeBron ain't got that much long, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so maybe him. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know nobody else. I mean, there's a lot of other really good players.
I say for top two, either, like you said, Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum
Those
is
two,
bad.
like those, you know what I'm saying? That's like the next best thing that we got. Yeah.
Yeah, Tatum bad too.
Yeah.
Huh? No, of course. Yeah. But these are guys that are really good players,
Really,
like
really
right
good.
now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the guy who like when LeBron's done,
Gonna take over.
who's gonna be the an American player, the American face of the league,
Right.
not a European face of the league. It's different.
Right.
You know, because you know even Giannis and all these boys, they bad, but you know,
They ain't scoring it like them boys though. And putting up numbers, bro.
and he doing it in a certain way, like
Yeah.
you know, like making J's, you know, from mid range, from three, dunking on people. Like you got to kind of have everything. When you gonna be the face, you got to have everything. You got to kind of have, like, if you think about the guys who was the face of the league, they usually, you know, they were 3-level scorers, right?
Yep.
3-point line, mid range, could get to the cup. They defended as well. They was, you know, charismatic. You know what I'm saying, in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
They gravitated so much attention. So it's one. That's why I say, like, you know, any of the young guys who even want to be that, I feel like you should study the guys that came before you.
Right.
So that because the lead is, I feel like it's, you know, gonna need it, and they waiting for that player to come out, man. But talking taste, man. This is the first episode, man, and I got my guy on here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, this is my first interview ever. What you think, man?
I think
Don't
it went
bullshit
well,
me,
bro.
man.
Nah, no, I think it went well, bro. Like, yeah, my dog, you're in your element, you know,
Okay.
just being you.
Yep.
Answering that, you know, asking questions, and it's in your words, it's genuine combo. You know, it's organic combo.
Organic.
That's your word there, organic.
Yep. Organic.
So yeah, it was cool, bro.
Yeah. Okay.